Welcome back to The Full View on SABC News. Tonight, we've been bringing you live visuals of incredible scenes coming to us from the palace in Ngoma in Kwazulu Natal after the announcement, the reading out of the Queen's will, in which she announced that her son should succeed her, Prince Misuzulu Zulu. Our reporter Ayanda Mhlongo attended the memorial today, and she's also been following these events in the marquee, the chaos that ensued, the gunshots that were heard, incredible scenes. The crowd has whittled down, but still a lot of people there showing their support, in fact, for the Prince Misuzulu Zulu, who will be the incoming king. Ayanda, tell us what's happening right now at the palace. And you said earlier that Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi expected to talk perhaps tonight. When could that be expected, and what might he say after this chaos?
Yeah, thanks very much, Francis, and good evening to our viewers who may have joined us. Of course, the situation tense but calm here at kwaKhangela Mankengane Royal Palace. Let me just step out of shot here for a sec and ask my colleague Ndabe Zintle Kumalo just to zoom in a little bit to that group. They've quietened down a little bit. They were singing and chanting isiZulu songs earlier on. In fact, the last song just before you came to us, you hear the women out here who are ululating, saying "Sawina Bafana Sawina." We have won, boys or gentlemen. We have won. Of course, these are the members of the royal family and some of their guests who are here today, who support the announcement that has been made this evening that Prince Misuzulu, who is the eldest son of the now late regent Queen Mantfombi Dlamini Zulu and the late King Goodwill Zwelithini Zulu. So great. It seems like they're quite excited with this announcement and saying that for them, this is what they were waiting for, and support the work and efforts by Nkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi as the AmaZulu traditional prime minister. And of course, Francis, you are asking about that media briefing, or the briefing that he was expected, or we are told there is a likelihood that he might come out to address the members of the media. And of course, what has transpired here this evening, certainly is going to be rather disappointed. This has been a difficult time for him, trying to navigate through the challenges here, the royal family, trying to unite the members of the royal family, and clearly it seems that his efforts have been in vain, so one could understand that wherever he is now, there's a great deal of disappointment from him. But from what he said, it's clear that the decision has been made, and it's going to be a decision that the members of the royal family and those who don't support it must at some point come to terms with that decision. The Queen, the late Queen, in her will, spelling out the reasons why she had decided to choose her son, Misuzulu, as the successor to the throne. Of course, namely saying that she is the great wife, the royal wife, she being the daughter of King Sobhuza of the Eswatini kingdom, so she is of royal blood, and therefore in accordance to AmaZulu customs and tradition, the heir through she would then would have been the mother to the heir of the throne. I'm still with my colleague Simpiwe Makani. Simpiwe, I'm just looking back. It seems like this group that was here, they're now moving away, but certainly one doubts that they're going to leave the palace this evening or throughout the night. It looks like it's going to be a long night for these guests, Mabuto, who are here now and standing guard.
Well, certainly, and this, of course, unfortunate incident happening just barely 24 hours after the burial of Her Majesty Queen Mantfombi Dlamini Zulu, a leader who has been hailed for a number of things, one of which is the issue of unity, Ayanda. I saw some of the speakers at the memorial service hailing her role for trying to unify not only the royal house, but also the people of kwaNongoma as a whole. And other elements, Ayanda, to this is the fact that she was regarded as a person who wanted to uplift as many women as possible in this particular area. But of course, this memorial service now being overshadowed by this unfortunate incident which has just occurred. Definitely we will continue to be here to monitor the developments happening, but it does seem that the crowd is now beginning to slowly disperse following that incident. And we are going to be awaiting now, Ayanda, a comment from the traditional Prime Minister of AmaZulu, Prince Misuzulu Zulu. Ayanda?
Yeah, certainly. That is the announcement or briefing, I think, that a lot of people are eager to hear what Nkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi is going to say and what the way forward now is. And I think a lot of people are possibly concerned about the safety of the Prince Misuzulu and his siblings. At this point, we were saying, Simpiwe, that we are unsure where he was taken to, as some place of safety. One guesses together with his sisters. So there would be a great deal of concern about his safety this evening, but also concern around this group that are seemingly unhappy. I mean, these are members of the royal family. These are the brother and sister to the late king. So we aren't just talking about any other distant cousin of the royal family. We're talking about very close members of the royal family. And I suppose this just then adds to how difficult the situation is going to be for the royal family to come together and try unite. In fact, in Prince Misuzulu's tribute that was read out by his sister during the memorial service, he did speak to unity in the royal family. He did speak to saying that the fact that the royal family has really been through some difficult times. His sister, Bukosi Bamvelo, also in her tribute, very, very emotional, and just speaking about how difficult a time it has been from her mother's illness, and this being the late queen, and how her condition deteriorated to the time then when their father, the late king, fell ill, and after that, having lost a father and now lost a mother, the events that have been taking place behind the scenes are really, really difficult for the late king and now the late queen's children. Simpiwe?
Certainly, Ayanda, it's going to be interesting and very crucial to see how the AmaZulu royal house handles this issue of, one would say, disunity that is unfolding in front of everyone to see. Because, Ayanda, you would recall that this royal family plays a very crucial role, you know, in the broader politics of South Africa. The issue of Ingonyama Trust coming to the fore. What is going to happen to that? Many people in this province of Kwazulu Natal live in rural areas and under, some form of traditional authority. It is going to be very crucial to see how the family addresses this issue of disunity that is playing out for everyone to see. Ayana?
Yeah, no, certainly. Simpiwe, just on my last note, just speaking about the traditional authorities, the House of Traditional Leaders, you spoke to Nkosi Patisiwe Qiliza, who called for unity, who said as the House of Traditional Leaders, they wanted to step back and allow the royal family to be able to sort out their differences. These were the sentiments that were shared by the National Minister of Kokta, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. We spoke to the former Premier of KZN, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, who's now our national health minister. And these are leaders that have worked very closely with the royal family, all of them saying that they hope that the royal family is going to be able to resolve their differences. Francis, let's leave it here for now and take things back to you in studio. But of course, myself and my colleague Simphiwe Makanya, we're going to continue to monitor what is happening here at kwaKhangela Mankengana Royal Palace in Nongoma.
Thank you for your incredible coverage thus far. Those are my colleagues Ayanda Mplongo, Simphiwe Makanya. And if you've just tuned in now, if you didn't see the chaos that ensued after calls for peace amongst the Zulu royal family and household today. Incredible scenes after the Queen's will was read out. A member of the royal household obviously unhappy with her decision that her successor would be Prince Misuzulu Zulu, stood up and there was an altercation, an exchange of harsh words with the traditional Prime Minister of the Zulu nation, Mangosuthu Buthelezi. He asked that member to sit down, not to talk. This member of the royal household said, well, it's a public meeting. After that, real chaos, and the Prince Misuzulu Zulu was whisked away along with some of his siblings. They were taken to safety, nobody knows where, but a lot of security detail. We did hear gunshots, but we don't know where those came from, where those shots were fired from. And then finally, we can confirm that at least 2 people were taken away in handcuffs. So we'll follow what's happening with police, and we'll follow the expected address from Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi later tonight on the channel. All right, from me and the news team on The Full View, that is a wrap. But do stay with the channel. We'll follow that and bring you lots more. And from us, thank you and good night.